Welcome to SPE 405D Project Management. My name is Felicia Freedidan Apa. We're going to be looking at Unit 6, Project Risk and Quality Management. We're going to continue our discussion in this unit by focusing on Section 5, Monitoring and Controlling Risk. By the end of this section, you should be able to outline the steps to ensure effective risk monitoring and outline the steps to ensure effective control identifying risk. So to begin off, there is a need for us to be able to monitor for the risk. We made mention that yes, there's risk identification, we've done the risk registers and all those ones. We've looked at even how to handle the risk just in case they happen. But there's a need for us to also monitor. And how are you going to monitor these risks? These are activities which goes into the risk monitoring process. The first one is for you to be able to establish periodic reviews and schedule them in the plan. There should be periodic review, whether you want to do a monthly, quarterly, yearly, fortnight, or even weekly or daily. It depends on how severe or how close that thing or the probability of it happening. Because things that are prone to the day-to-day issues or running, you realize that they may be done daily or weekly. Then you need to ensure that all the requirements for the risk plan are actually being implemented. It goes beyond just setting it up. We need to be able to implement it as well. And we need to assess the current defined risk, the current defined risk as defined in our risk register. We can't do this activity if we've not already worked on our risk register. Then we need to evaluate the effectiveness of the actions we are taking. So are we going to get that required output as against the input we are putting in? Then we need to check whether we are going to be able to meet those targets. Effectiveness is about meeting your target or meeting your objective set. Then we need to obviously identify the status of all the actions we are undertaking in there as well, and validate the previous risk assessments, the likelihood and their impact. You need to check whether the previous risk assessment we did, is it really so or it is not. Then we need to also validate previous assumptions underpinning those assessments that were done, and then we need to state any new ones if there need be, and we need to even change some of them if there need be. Then we also need to identify new risk, things we didn't see before in our risk assessment and we are finding now. We can add it in and update those documents as well. Then you can also track for risk responses as well. So maybe at the first case we're using avoidance. Now we realize that, oh no, now we're using more of the risk sharing instead. We need to track all those risk responses and then communicate the risk management status and risk response follow throughs to the appropriate people or stakeholders who are involved. And we made mention that communication in the project is very, very key, especially when it comes to the project, its team, and then its stakeholders as a whole. So once you've been able to monitor, there's a need for us to go in further to do risk controlling. So when it comes to risk controlling, you need to be able to validate the risk mitigation strategies or alternatives you want to go with. Then you take corrective actions when there's a variation against what the actual versus the expected. Then we need to put in place some sort of corrective measures to get us that result we wanted. And we need to be able to assess the impact of the action taken, looking at the cost, which is the money part, the time, which is going to affect our schedule, and then the resources as well. And sometimes even the quality is going to affect on our project. So you need to identify new risks resulting from the mitigation as action. You are taking in actions to reduce the impact of the risk. But sometimes new risk may also come up as you are even trying to reduce the impact of your risk. You need to ensure the project plan is maintained. That is very important. And ensure change control addresses the risk which is associated with the proposed change. Every change comes with its own risk, and so we should be able to address all of those. We need to be able to revise the risk management documents to capture the results in the mitigation action and update our risk register as well. We need to be able to communicate with management on the status and then the response as appropriate, and then establish communications, especially with our stakeholders, whenever it is appropriate. Keep them abreast all the time about what is happening. In this session, we've discussed monitoring and controlling as an integral part of the risk management process. Thank you.